Sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device. All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, March the 20th, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
How is everybody doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing tired, but good. Good and tired.
Good and tired. That's
Good and tired.
It's a new candy bar.
It's a new candy
Or
bar.
a line of adult diapers. I'm not
6-1.
Tired?
Exactly.
good and tired for those latter days in life
Exactly.
where you just don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
And you don't care.
And you just don't
Just
care.
don't care.
I'm just gonna sit here and eat candy and crap in my diaper.
Yeah.
That's right.
Was that the SNL one with Will Ferrell? Oops, I crapped my pants.
Yeah.
The adult diaper.
Yeah.
All right.
No one can even tell. Well, I had a very interesting week.
Okay. Tell us about it.
So here we go. So we have to go back to last week, actually.
Okay.
So 2 weeks ago, actually, my lovely wife Donna got the flu. She got sick, and I guess they were right. The flu is bad this year. It was pretty bad.
It's not good. It's never good.
No, it's never good.
flu.
It was rough. It was rough, and she's of course a typical, trooper and all that stuff. So
Sure.
she was sick for 3 or 4 days,
Mm-hmm.
and just to double check, she took a COVID test on Saturday. This would have been the 12th, like the 9th of the 9th.
Fair enough.
And that was negative, so it was the flu. That's fine. So Tuesday, I went to work, and over the course of the day, this would be the 12th, I started to kind of feel kind of crappy. You feel it kind of coming on. You're getting tired. Your head's getting stuffy. So I went, great, I got the flu. So I came home Tuesday, and it was pretty terrible over the next couple of days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So then Friday rolled around, and I said, you know what? This is kind of a weird flu. I think I'm going to, because it was only getting a little bit better.
Right.
Just in increments, Usually with the flu, you feel crappy for a few days, and then you have one day it kind of, the fever breaks, and then you feel none of that. So I said, I think I'll take a test. So I took a little COVID test on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Not so negative, actually.
Not so negative.
Not so
That's
negative.
That's the new result, actually. It's negative and not so negative.
Well, you don't want to say positive, even though that's a positive word.
Right.
Because it means negative. So you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So you say not so negative now.
Right.
So yours truly got the COVID. And then Donna took a test, and obviously I gave it to her. And I immediately accused her of having it the prior week.
She might have. She
might have, but she did test negative. But anyway.
One test, yeah.
Yeah, so now the boys got it, and she's got it, and I'm getting over it pretty much. So that was going on. That was a Friday. And then Sunday, Pete's heart decided to go out of rhythm, as it is wont to do. And so I went back into AFib, and I had the COVID and was feeling still pretty lousy and all that. So I ended up having to go to the doctor today just to get checked out.
Mm-hmm.
And the COVID is, my voice is a little bit rough. It's still a little cough, but the COVID is, for the most part, out of the way.
Right.
Still actually waiting for a test, but I think it's going to be negative or maybe only slightly positive.
Mm-hmm.
If the little bar on the bar on the bottom is a light color,
Right.
it goes, yeah, you still have it, but not as bad. So
It's the blue bar. It's called the blar.
the blar, yeah.
Oh, yes.
But the heart is still beating. The heart was beating a little fast this morning, which is what happens, of course, with the fibrillation.
Right.
But the doctor was like, I think you should go to the hospital, and they'll check you out and figure out how to get your heart rate slowed down. So I did that, and so they gave me some medicine and calmed things down, and there was no real reason for me to stay there. But so it's been a house full of sick people, the COVID, and now the heart's fluttering.
The flu,
very
COVID, AFib, fluttering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been very. The good news though is the title to my new used car showed up.
Showed up. There you go.
Only a couple of weeks after I bought it, so that's good.
Is that all?
Well,
that's better than not. It's better than normal. That's true. So.
Yeah, it is. It's fast, and it's one of those things that can end up being a nightmare.
True story.
So I'll take that as a sign that things are really looking up.
I would do that.
But
absolutely.
it's been a bit of a rough week, and of course we're supposed to go away not next week, but the week after that, or at the end of next week. We're supposed to go to Florida
for Easter.
Well, the boys coming home for spring break, and so yeah, I guess we're actually gonna drive down there and see a few sites. So we have a few friends that live in the Tampa area. So if we're gonna fly down there, we were gonna rent a car anyway. So let's just rent a car,
right,
and just drive down. It's got unlimited miles, so we'll.
What the hell? Yeah,
but everybody's got to get healthy now, and
well, look at it this way. All right, look at it this way. All of this could have happened 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, I guess it's
right smack dab in the middle of everything going to Florida. So,
yeah,
at least if it's going to happen, get it out of the way. Then you can go and enjoy Florida.
Yeah, hopefully.
Probably
snow there while we're there. But...
Volcano, something. Yeah.
So it's been an interesting week. But yeah, now I can say, oh yeah, I had the COVID.
You had the vid.
Not the good one, the first one, but the weakling. One? Yeah, well, the weakling. What do they call them?
Variant
mutations. The variations.
It's the remix. Yeah, you don't have an original pressing. You have the remix.
No. It's not quite as good as the original.
Yeah,
But so far I've survived COVID and AFib simultaneously. So I feel
that's good. You had it at the same time though, so that's strong like bull, as they say.
Yes, I'm strong like bull.
All right, there you go. Harry, any tales for us?
Harry, how was your week?
Thank God I'm all right, there you go. Very, very good. I do have one thing to say. It's almost it's a positive thing, but it shocked the shit out of me.
It's not a negative thing.
And it was this morning.
Okay.
I had been up working for a couple hours. I came back into the living room, and of course ESPN was on. And I saw Stephen A. Smith, Mad Dog Russo, who's the guy who really thinks highly of himself, the white three-point shooter, JJ Redick.
Yeah.
All talking about the Denver Nuggets. Number one, they're talking about the Denver Nuggets. Number two, they're talking positive about them.
Yeah.
And that concerns me. So,
you think that's a curse?
I saw it. I saw it with my own two eyes. I heard it. And, they think the Nuggets are the favorites to win a championship. And while
I read that from a couple of sources.
And I have concerns. I've been to a couple Nuggets games over the last couple of weeks. I've watched them. I have concerns. However, they are 12-2 since
you have your concerns
since the All-Star break. And if it wasn't for, some sort of weird hookah-booka Kyrie Irving left-handed hook shot, they would be 13-1. So, 13-1. And it's not like they're just playing a bunch of schlubs. They haven't played the Nets 6 times. They've played some good teams. So, having said that, I was just shocked. I'm glad that it's only taken almost 2 full seasons for the most popular talk show on television regarding sports to just casually mention the NBA champions.
To actually realize there's a team in Denver.
Denver.
Right.
But listen, here's the really good news. If there's 3 guys that are never wrong,
it's that.
It's Stephen A. Smith, JJ Redick,
and Chris Russo. Yeah.
Right.
And Chris Russo. I mean, those guys are money.
very logical thinkers. They don't go out on limbs. They don't do
Not
anything
emotional at all.
They don't try to spark controversy just for the sake of it.
They are not clickbaiters. No,
there's
sir.
no bias based into anything that they have.
None whatsoever.
None at all.
There's no New York, LA, Golden State bias on that program at all.
They are what sports reporting used to be.
Right.
Straight ahead, fact-based journalism.
Now, I would have went into AFib if, on top of this, Kendrick Perkins was wearing a Jokic jersey while they were talking about this, but that didn't happen. So.
Right.
Anyway.
100% spot on. Yeah. Anyway, in fact, I think the only thing that Stephen A. Smith is ever always spot on about is the inevitable completion of the season for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, that's easy to be right about.
But then again,
that's not
Yeah.
exactly a thin limb to go out on.
No. That's a pretty solid ground.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got?
All right. So let's kick it off with our memes. Let's do that.
Oh, we got memes.
We got our pictures, our funny signs, if you want to call them that. Here we go. We're going to start it off with this one here. Brentwood.
Funny signs. That sounds like something somebody would say at the bagel shop. Like the funny signs you see.
Kelvin and Hatch, Industrial Estates, secret nuclear bunker.
Yeah.
How secret is it? Seriously.
By the way, what does chipping ongar mean?
I'm not quite sure. And
It
The
sounds
funny
like-
part about this, I know this area, and what's great about this is the secret nuclear bunker is actually in the opposite direction.
What I love is the industrial estates.
Well,
I
maybe
love that.
maybe they're coming from the other way though, Pete.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's a good possibility.
Well, something is straight up in the air too. The chipping ongar is straight up in the air.
Straight up in the air. Hold on, No, I can't see it.
Industrial estates, is that housing for industrialists? Or is it just like there's nothing lavish or very functional,
very
very efficient,
square concrete
Yeah.
buildings?
bunch of salt boxes, that's it.
Very late 90s exposed steel. Lots of pool tables in the dining room. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. And baseball stadiums from the 80s.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And apparently some
A lot of exposed ductwork.
right, there you go. Anyway. All right. Next one up. This sign. Here we go. Entrance and exit only. Well, yeah.
Good. I mean, what is the third option besides
what would the other
entrance and exit?
possibilities be?
You can go
can't
in.
stay.
You can go and come out. Can't stay.
You can't stay. It's the opposite of the Hotel California.
That's right. Entrance, exit,
I mean,
loiter.
Once you check in, you must leave.
It's like
Entrance
staying
and
in a
exit.
revolving. It's like staying in a revolving door.
Right.
That would be the only thing in between an entrance and an exit.
Yeah, the only other thing I would say would be loitering.
Loitering.
Yes.
Well, yeah, there you go.
But you still kind of either have to go in or go out.
You're either in or out. Yeah, you're either entered or exited. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is true.
So
all right. Moving on to the next one. This is a good one. I'm not sure. Maybe this is during leap year. I'm not sure. Here we go.
that is a leap year.
Open 26 hours a day.
Well, I
So
think
you get a leg up on the competition.
I think that's an
Apparently.
attempt at humor.
I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at where the sign is. It looks like it's on just a generic parking lot that
it
hasn't
looks
been
like
cleaned
something
in a while.
industrial there.
Right.
It looks like it might be
definitely
part of
has-
the industrial estates.
Yeah.
It could very well be. Could very well be.
Hmm.
All right. Moving on to this one we have here. Here we go. Please use tongue or tissue paper when making your selection. Thank you.
Yes.
For bagel.
No,
It's just for the plain. Look, it's just for the plain bagels, though. They look like poppy seeds on the bottom.
now let me let you in on a little secret. Those bagels do have a hole in the middle, so there's something worse that you could use than a tongue or a tissue paper.
That is true. That is true.
true.
And if you're going to use your tongue in that hole, you got to be talented.
I would say
be
the
able
only-
to lift the bagel out of there with just your tongue, no teeth.
I like to tongue the salt bagels a little bit.
I was going to say, it kind of makes sense because you might want to taste them to see which one you want.
Like the best, right? Exactly.
Right. I mean, you could take a piece of paper and just reach in and go, this one with seeds, I guess will be good. But you don't know.
You don't really know.
So you give it a little taste test and you go, I think that's the one I'll select.
Give it a little tongue.
Yeah.
Give it a little tongue.
But by the way, when did we become too lazy to write out YOU and thank you?
Right.
Instead of
with all the rest of the letters on this paper, why can't how much? Hey Pete, how much ink are they saving by leaving off
the Y and the O?
It also looks like they printed it on the back of something else that was from 6 years ago. So,
that's definitely
it's definitely at ShopRite, and they just took a sign from
there's a sale, something about a sale on the other side of that.
Look, if you don't think ShopRite's bagels are being tongued before you get them, then I got another thing coming.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I mean, that's why they're 12 cents each.
I know the baker there. He's an ex-con and he's bitter.
Yeah, you hope it's just the tongue.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, something's got to put the hole in that dough. So.
There you go.
Alrighty.
There you go. Old stumpy.
A little stumpage action. Right. Yeah, here we go. Moving on, we have this one here. Miller High Life sign. The best birth control is good lighting.
True. Being around kids for more than an hour.
Well, this is true too. Yes.
Yeah.
The best birth control is good lighting. I like that one. I never heard that before or thought of it, but
there's a reason why people get together at night in dark places.
This is true. So next one we have here's a job posting. All right, they might have wanted to put the first word on the second line with the top word. So it's a kitchen hand job available, but instead it reads kitchen hand job available.
Well, depends on who's in the kitchen. I mean, most of the times when I go into a kitchen at a restaurant, there's nobody I really want a hand job from.
Ironically, this store was very busy that day they posted this.
Yes. Yeah, their hands were not free.
They were not free.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions. Like, what part of the kitchen?
Right.
Are there going to be any utensils involved?
Right.
I feel like if you're going to get a hand job from anybody in the kitchen, you want it to be the pastry chef. I don't know why. I just feel like they're
softer powder on their hands, maybe.
Right, a little butter or some
like what kind of are you using butter? Are you using
absolutely
olive oil, Crisco? What are you lubing me up with?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, who's to say you're going to get any lube at all? He's just said a hand job. They did.
Again, these are questions that have to be answered prior to.
What are the odds that this sign was on one of the doors at the ShopRite that those tongue bagels were available at?
I don't think so. They're totally different things. You know, somebody likes the tongue, the other person likes the hand. You know.
Well, yeah, that's true. All right, moving on to the next one. We have KFC loaded bowel, $3.99.
That is a good price.
I mean, that's sort of defeating the purpose of getting anything there. Yeah,
exactly.
You want to get packed? It's $4.
What I love is it's a drive-through loaded bowel. So it goes all the way down.
You gotta make sure you're not that far away.
Hands down, ass out. Now, what do they load your bowel with? Hopefully mashed potatoes and not a drumstick.
I would imagine it depends on how much food you eat, because I'm sure they're loading it the opposite way.
Well, I think it's just they're just shoving it in there.
Oh, this actually doesn't go in your mouth. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It's like packing a musket. I think it's mostly for that price. It's got to be mostly mashed potatoes, exactly. And they use a drumstick to get it in there.
There you go.
You pull up to the window.
I'm sure there's some corn involved.
You pull up to the window, and
there is after.
You want a loaded bowel? They go, do you want a loaded bowel? And you go, I don't know. How long does it take to eat? And they go, eat.
Eat. What are you talking about?
I'd like a loaded bowel.
I'd like a loaded bowel, please.
And I'd like it for less than $5.
That's right.
We've got a deal for you.
We got a deal for you. All right.
You might want to tongue this bagel because it's going to hurt coming in.
Of course. All right. And to wrap them up with the last one on that note, and through no irony for the next one, Big sign off to the distance in a field from the road. Fudge from Uranus.
I've heard this.
Oh, I passed that sign.
They do this on purpose, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, I passed that sign, taking the boy out to his college interview.
Hey, look,
Uranus in the air,
once you get a loaded bow, then you know
You
you go to Indiana.
You go to Indiana. And there you have it. Fudge
All
from
right.
Uranus. All right.
20 minutes of juvenile signs.
You got to love it. All right. Gentlemen, a week from tomorrow is opening day.
Actually, today was
What?
opening day.
Well, I was going to bring that up. Okay. A week from tomorrow is opening day for Major League Baseball.
Today is opening stupid night.
All 30 teams
Good morning.
will play next Thursday, March 20th. It's the earliest opening day there has been.
Yes.
However, Major League Baseball, in their infinite wisdom, Rob Manfred, his infinite wisdom, while looking for more money, all right.
Well, I don't
Without
know if
even
it's about money. It's
to
money
to spread the to spread the baseball around the world, if you will, had decided, and no one, and he never promoted it either. It just happened, right? Game one.
Did you know it was on today?
No, I found out afterwards. Yeah.
I was looking at scores and I saw that the Dodgers and Padres did not have preseason next to it. And then I went back to the news. It wasn't even like a headline on anything.
Nothing. They didn't report it at all. They didn't promote it. They didn't say what channel it was on. You could watch it here, whatever. I mean, maybe it was promoted locally in LA and San Diego.
I think it was promoted in Korea. That's for sure.
What time was it actually on here?
6 a.m. Eastern.
5 or 6 in the morning. Yeah.
6 a.m. Eastern.
6 a.m. Eastern.
So why there's no one's going to promote that.
Yeah. But still,
I mean, it's not the Olympics or anything like that.
But it was actually the first game of the season.
When Wimbledon's on, I know that it's on at that time. So.
Right. No, that's what I mean.
There's some Formula One races that I don't watch, but God knows I know they're on.
Let me tell you what this is.
Horrible.
This is one of the things that I do because I'm an old person is I like to play old video games on the emulator.
I don't know what that means.
Well, so I played Nintendo 64 games.
Oh, okay. What is an emulator?
Emulator is
it's a program that you can run on.
It's not your heart machine.
It's not. No. It's not. It's not an actual N64 box that he's playing.
Right.
And then he's
So
it emulates
games,
Nintendo 64.
It emulates So one of the things that I like to play is Major League Baseball, the 2000 season.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the
he likes Benny Agbayani that much.
Well, I like it because you can draft your own team and
right.
So, one of the things I don't like about it is that every season the Mets and the Cubs play 2 or 3 games before anybody else does, and then there's like 3 or 4 days off.
Mm-hmm.
And it bugs me because when I look at the stats for basically the rest of the season, they're always thrown off because these two teams have 2 or 3 extra games of at-bats and pitches and innings thrown. And it annoys the fuck out of me because I'm like, my guy should be in first place, but he doesn't, he's missing 12 at-bats that he doesn't have.
So the emulator predicted this.
So the emulator from 2000.
They didn't do this in 2000, did they?
I think they did.
I don't know.
I think they did actually. They played a game. They played a game in Japan because the Mets played in Japan with Benny Agbayani.
One of the options you have.
It's been 24 years since they've done that.
You can choose. You can choose the regular season schedule. You can choose like a half season schedule. You can choose no interleague. Mm-hmm. So and I choose the regular season schedule. So yeah, I think that's what they do.
I would choose 1977. That's when I think
you could probably go back and find
3 home runs in one game. 3 home runs in one game.
Yeah, and that was just Fred Stanley.
Exactly.
So that's always annoyed me. And now
3 home runs in his career, right?
Now they're doing it. Now they're doing it in real life.
Right.
So they can open up the gigantic market that is South Korea.
That is South Korea, right? They played it in Seoul.
I mean, if you really want to impress me, have a game in North Korea.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Let Kim Jong-un throw out the first pitch.
That's
Go to
That's
South,
right,
and it
motherfucker.
will be a strike.
That's
it will
right.
be a perfect game.
It shall be.
It won't even arc. It just straight in.
You
Just,
pitched a
What would be
perfect
great
game
is if
with
the
one
Dodgers
pitch.
uniforms all had his face and one, in the D with that haircut. That
Was kind of cool though. Chan-Ho Park got to throw out the first pitch, so
there you go.
All right. But it's the same thing with the NFL. Like, just start on Sunday, not on Thursday freaking night. Don't open.
No, that doesn't bother me. That's
I know
different
it doesn't
though.
bother me.
We're used to.
Well, it's not Thursday night. It's Thursday. Well, there's some games Thursday night, but it's Thursday day. Like the Mets,
whatever.
the Mets
It's
open
not-
at
it's
1:10.
No, he's talking about football. Thursday.
No, talking about
starting on
football.
Thursday.
Oh, I
They
thought
start
you
on
were-
Thursday, not on Sundays. Football
Right.
should start on Sunday. Baseball opening day should be April 1st.
Yep.
Or April 2nd or whatever.
Mhm.
Not two teams playing over in.
Talk to me in September.
Yeah.
It's baseball.
Anyway, the Dodgers won.
The most exciting thing for me in baseball has been that Carlos Rodon made it through 5 innings, and it was such a major feat that Joe Torre appeared out of nowhere and took the ball out of his hand. In the
He
fifth-
did.
in the fifth inning.
Joe Torre went out and took him
How
out of the
amazing
game.
it was. He wasn't even anywhere at the stadium, but he just magically appeared in uniform.
He was invited to that game in full uniform to do that specific thing.
I thought maybe my dreams were coming true.
He was back.
He was back. I was like, Jesus.
All of a sudden, Aaron Boone is in the booth commentating on the game, and that's how
Yeah.
you found out.
Yeah.
There you go.
So let me pose this question.
Go for it.
Yes. Yes. I
Is
think
this-
next year they should be in Ukraine.
Is this
Iceland,
good
actually.
for the Dodgers and the Padres, or not good as far as?
I think it's stupid. I think if they're going to do it, promote
Well,
it.
no, but I
let
mean,
everyone know. But
in a physical sense, will it affect
It's fine.
them
It's
over
fine
the course
because
of the season?
they're going to have some travel time. The Dodgers are going to have 2 or 3 wins under their belt, and they're going to have a little bit of a break. It'll be fine.
it'll all come out in the wash.
So, do you think it gives them an edge heading into the rest of the regular season, where everybody?
I think if anything, it's probably gonna. That's probably the reason they did it a week ahead of time, because I think in the long run, if they did it soon, closer to the beginning of the season, that it would hurt them between the jet lag and everything else. Now because are they going back to are they going back to spring training, and then are they just done with spring training for a week and then they're going to go?
Well, they've
You
got
know.
2 more games, right?
So they left spring training, went and played a regular season game in Korea.
I think
And
they
then
play
they're
more.
coming-
I think they play a series there. Isn't it
And
more
then
than
they-
one game?
Oh, is that what it is? It's a series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
It's a
going to ask if it's either 2 or 3. It's
Yeah, I
at
think
least
it's 3, and then they come back, and then they start the season with everybody else.
Well, because
Dodgers play Thursday. I think it's just 2 games.
2, okay.
so today and tomorrow.
Look,
Or yesterday and today.
Yesterday and
with,
today.
with the salary that the Dodgers have and the talent they have, they can afford to go over to Korea and help.
Yeah.
Sell
Well,
some
listen, I
t-shirts.
mean, they're sending the right.
Shohei Ohtani can afford to take everybody over there and bring them
Let me
back.
tell you something. It's probably good for people like Ohtani. It's probably really good for some of these players who have such a big reach. And look, it's probably really exciting for the people of South Korea. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah. So then they come back, I guess, and they go back to spring training.
And they can go back to spring training for like 4 days, and then they break and go back to
And then
California.
spring training.
That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, at that point, they should just break spring training now, go back to LA, and just have workouts in the stadium, getting ready for
Who cares?
whatever they do. They do.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could do this 5 days before the regular season started.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Send them over there, 2 games, let them come back. With the time change, it's probably almost 2 days to
Right.
rest up before you head into the regular season.
And then start up. Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about 10 days here.
Talk to
Right?
me in September
Eight.
after the
Eight.
Braves assemble a whole new team, and then then I'll be interested in baseball.
Yeah,
It
there
doesn't
we go.
matter anything now.
That's true. Fair enough. All right. there's other than that, I mean, obviously opening day starting next week. Everybody's made some moves. McNeil is playing for the Mets again. I think Judge looks like, I mean, did he come back? Did he play any games yet? Or
Yeah, he came
still...
back and he hit like a double or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oohed and on because he got a hit in his first game back. So,
but yeah. So, whatchamacallit? I wanted to bring this one thing up really quick, not to key on the Mets too much. Obviously, look what I'm wearing, right? But by the way, this is first time I'm wearing it. New, it's the away blue with the gray letters. Keith Hernandez. So
he's back.
Nice.
He's back.
He's back. He's playing first base. Yeah.
Okay.
He made the DH a little bit, but
he's gonna date Elaine again too.
Yep, exactly. Mets have made 5 Mets have made Major League Baseball's MLB Network's top 100. That's Lindor, Alonso, Kodai Senga, Brandon Nimmo, and Edwin Diaz. The 5 you would think, right? But there you go. Yeah, Lindor's 25th, Alonso's 37th, Senga's 63rd, Nimmo's 70th, and Edwin Diaz is 80th. I would imagine that'll move up. Yeah.
Thank God he's not playing in
Korea. Yeah, no. I don't think they're going to let him golf or drive a car this year, other than just sit in a box and pitch when you need to.
Yeah, but I think being a relief pitcher, it's not quite equivalent, but like it would be like having a kicker in the top 10 in the NFL.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. There's very few who fall into that. Diaz is probably the best closer in the game though when he's healthy.
Exactly. So. We have a comment from Mr. David Scardino. He wants to know, is Log performing the national anthem at the Rockies opening day?
We're not performing the national anthem, but we're going to be singing our song called Wrong, which is the new theme song for the Rockies.
For the Rockies. Wrong. It's just wrong.
The chorus is, let's go get it wrong. So come on. No. But let's go Rockies. We've got other things here in Colorado, Dave. We got possibly a double championship in the NBA and the NHL going on. So
yeah, not if the Rangers have anything to say about it.
The Texas Rangers.
The Texas Rangers, of course. Right. Actually, the Park Rangers in
Yosemite.
In Yosemite, right? Anyway, okay. I think we can jump right into our predictions. This is what we do.
Our predictions for baseball?
For baseball, yes. This year's NFL predictions. We're going to do it now.
I don't know.
Get it out of the way.
The only thing I prepared for is NCAA predictions. I didn't know we were making Major League Baseball predictions.
Yeah, we do it every year on this show.
All right, I'll just randomly pick something.
There you go. Well, we're going to do the winners of each division, and then
all right, fire away.
So from there, okay. So
and then through the 18 rounds of the playoffs,
and then every game of the playoffs.
No, then game 2 of round 1 of the wild card.
Excuse me. I just want to point out. So last year, I got last year's predictions up here. Just specifically speaking of the AL East and the NL East. Harry, you and I both picked the Mets, and we both picked the Yankees to win, respectively, the NL and the AL East. Mm-hmm. Obviously, neither of those happened. And Pete, you went astray on both of those from us. You picked the Phillies to win the NL East and the Blue Jays to win the AL East. So none of us.
So we were all
way off. And just look,
pretty close.
We across the board picked the Padres to win the NL West. So that was way wrong. So most of these were just bad guesses.
All right. So what are our bad guesses going to be this year?
What are our bad guesses going to be this year? Well, let's start with the NL East. Harry, who is winning the NL East?
Oh boy, God, that's a tough one.
You're going to go out on that limb and say the Braves?
Yeah, the Braves are going to. They're not only are they going to buy a new team at the trade deadline, they're going to change divisions and leagues. You said the AL East, right?
NL East.
NL East.
NL East, yeah.
Yeah, the Braves are going to win the NL East.
Pete,
I'm going to take the Phillies.
you take the Phillies. I'm going to say the Marlins. No, I'm kidding. No, it's the Braves are going to win.
Okay.
No,
Yes.
no. I'm going with the Phillies. Phillies are actually going to win
All right.
the NL East. All right. Harry, NL Central.
I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb. I think the Brewers are going to win the NL Central.
Fair enough. Okay. Pete.
I'm going to say the Pirates.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Why the hell not? Pirates. Speaking of the Pirates,
Here we go.
did you see the report last week?
Willie Stargell's coming back.
Willie Stargell's coming back, yes. Now, the Pirates' new closer was shown on Instagram squeezing his mother's breasts.
All right, whatever helps.
Multiple times.
Were they nice?
I didn't actually see it. I didn't want to. I didn't want to be disturbed like that.
No, I mean,
I think you can look.
His mom's probably younger than you, so.
Well, that is true. Well, we're talking about Chapman. We're talking about Aroldis Chapman here.
Oh, really? He was squeezing his mom's tits?
He's squeezing his mom's breastises.
All right. Well, he's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm actually going to go with the Brewers as well on this. And the West.
I'm not going to go. Look, I'm not going to go out on a limb, although I think it's going to be closer. I think you might have 200-game winners in this division.
This is true.
I think it's going to be the Dodgers.
Dave Scardino says umps need to check his hands
Yes.
for his mother's boobs.
White substance.
Sticky
powder.
Yeah, no, maybe that's what he's doing. She lactates stickum.
Let me let you in on a little secret with Aroldis Chapman. You don't have to check his hands. You need to check his head.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, you're going Dodgers?
Yeah.
Dodgers. All right. Pete?
Dodgers.
Yeah, across the board, we got that one. I think everybody's aware of that.
Let me ask you one question on that division. How poorly are the Padres going to perform?
Yeah, I don't even want to. Worse than last year.
Yeah, I think the Diamondbacks and the Giants finish ahead of the Padres.
100%. I think the Rockies finish ahead of the Padres.
No, the Rockies. It's not going to get that bad.
By a game or two, but I think it's close. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Last place is close. All right, let's jump to the AL East. Who are you going with there? You go first, Harry.
I'm going first. Boy, I'd like to think Tampa Bay is going to bounce back, but I just think it's going to be Baltimore. I think with a year under their belt of some success, I think the Orioles are going to be back.
Mm-hmm. All right. Pete?
Yeah, and a surprising show of resiliency, and it's going to be Baltimore.
All right, fair enough. I think we all agree on that one.
No, all
right. Harry?
The AL Central, some place I know nothing about. I think I'm going to take the Twins.
That's a fair prediction. There you go. Pete?
I'm going to take the Detroit Tigers.
The Tigers. Interesting.
Tigers and Pittsburgh winning divisions. All right.
Hey, you're going all out in the Central of both leagues.
Well, who cares about the Central?
I'm actually going Guardians.
True enough.
I'm going Cleveland.
True enough. All right. Cleveland back in the mix.
And the West. Harry.
It's hard to root against. It's hard to pick against them. I know Texas is tough. Obviously, the Angels, who the hell knows? I think it's going to be the Houston Astros.
Fair enough. Pete?
I'm going to take the Seattle Mariners.
I'm right there with you. I think the Mariners do win this year. I think last year was
eke it out this year.
They're going to eke it out past the. I think the Rangers come back down to earth a little bit. They'll still be relevant, but I think the Astros
They were 3 games over 500 last year, and they won the World Series. So.
Well, come back down to earth from the World Series is what I meant. Not just keep that perpetuating that.
So they'll only be 2 games over.
Yeah, so one game.
They'll come down to earth.
One game over.
Their mediocrity will not be
foreshadowed by.
Will be more pronounced, slightly more pronounced than it was.
Slightly, yeah. All right. Last year we did the wild card winners. We're not going to do that. Let's let's just do the NLCS winner and the ALCS winner. Start with the NLCS. Pete, go first.
You want the 2 teams or just the
winner?
Championship
of the
National League?
National League winner. Who wins the NL pennant?
I'm tempted to take the Pirates again.
Wow.
But I'll go with the Dodgers.
All righty.
I think they're due. How many years has it been since they've won?
4.
3.
Yeah. 3. Yeah, 3. They lost the World Series. They won the World Series for it.
Yeah, they're about due.
All right. They're due.
It was 20 before that, wasn't it? Yeah.
Something like that.
Well, I know they have a history of getting there and not winning it, but I think they're gonna break that cycle a little bit. They'll win it a little bit earlier.
Well, they gotta get past the first round this time.
Fair enough.
Right. AL.
Pete. No, Harry. You're
National League. I'm picking.
Yeah.
The Dodgers.
Fair enough. All right, and we're all in agreement there. And then AL. How are you going first? Astros. Pete.
Pete, you could pick a team that you didn't pick to win the division. Pick a
outlier as a wild card team. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I could pick the Yankees.
You could.
There you go.
You know what? I'm going to stick with the Mariners.
We're on the same wavelength. I'm going there too, Mariners.
All right, folks. We'll take these predictions and
hold on.
The garbage.
We got one more. So, Harry, you say the Dodgers and the Astros in the series is winning?
I got to pick who's winning. The Dodgers.
The Dodgers are winning. Pete, you say the Dodgers and the Mariners in the World Series. Who's winning?
I think Seattle's going to win.
Hey, just stealing my thunder across the board there, Peter. Seattle is winning their first World Series. Last year, whatchamacallit? Well, they're getting to their first World Series. But winning their first World Series. Last year, the Rangers did it, so Mariners are going to win their first this year. So there you go. And you could take, as Harry just said, you could take these and throw them right out. All right.
You and I just doomed the Mariners to
we did.
Games over 500.
They are 3 games under 500.
And a first-round loss.
Barely missing the wild card game.
Sorry, Seattle. I didn't know he was going to pick the same thing as me.
As
I
they
survive one of us, but not that bad karma for both of us.
Well, you could have went with the. I mean, it could have been, according to you, it could have been a Pirates Mariners World Series.
Pirates Mariners.
Well, interestingly enough, here's CBS Sports. Their odds of people to win the World Series. The Dodgers are number 1, Braves are number 2, the Astros are number 3, Yankees are number 4, followed by the Rangers, the Phillies, the Orioles, the Twins, the Blue Jays, and then the
Mariners
plus 2,000. So if you want to put some money on the Mariners, now's the time to do it.
That was the time to do it. There you go. And then last year we picked our AL and NL Cy Young winners, but that never pans out because last year I know. Let's see. Hold on, I got it still here. Last year I
went with Ron Guidry.
Last year Pete picked DeGrom to win the AL Cy Young.
DeGrom to win the PGA Championship.
And Scherzer to win the NL Cy Young. So
I'd take Aaron Rodgers to win the Cy Young.
I went with Javier and Verlander. You went with Valdez and Strider. So.
Yeah.
This year I got Bert Blyleven and Aaron Seeley.
I got Walter Johnson and I don't know. And nobody.
And Cy Young.
And Cy Young.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, he never won a Cy Young Award.
Well, this is his year. Watch, if he gets traded to the Pirates, then you know it's going to happen.
I know it's going to happen. Yeah, only if he grabs Chapman's mom's boobs before the game. Every game.
I think Tyler Glasnow has got to be favored in the National League, but who knows?
Who knows? Well, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Those are our predictions for this year. We will we'll revisit them in September.
You should revisit them halfway through just to see how far off we are already.
We could do that too. We'll revisit them at the All-Star break, and we'll revisit them in September as we head into the playoffs and see where we're at.
The All-Star break, which happens with 24 games left in the season.
Halfway through the season, for some reason, there's only like a month left of games. So.
It's actually September 3rd, and it takes place in Thailand.
That's right. That'd be great.
In the middle of the night. The home run derby is on an island. You have to hit a home run from one island to the other.
Actually, you have to make it home from a Thai brothel before the first pitch in a rickshaw.
Exactly.
I don't even know if they have rickshaws in Thailand, and I apologize if they don't.
Right.
But it's not an Asian thing. I just thought a rickshaw would be funny.
I think it was.
If they don't have a rickshaw,
I know where you were going.
Yes.
Wheelbarrow works too. Yes. All right. I got some opening day trivia for you. I just a couple of fun facts.
Did you know that opening day was today?
No, well, we're not going to be having the show before opening day.
Well, what I'm saying is that.
Did I know that opening day was no? I thought of this prior to realizing that today is actually opening day.
Yeah, so you're right on target.
Well, there is just for to answer the question here, a motorized rickshaw that has 3 wheels and is open air in Thailand, known as the tuk-tuk.
Tuk-tuk.
I like that.
Tuk-tuk.
So I think, well, I don't know. It's motorized. Can you have a rickshaw if it's not pulled by a homeless guy, a la Seinfeld? So maybe the concept is the same.
Housing compromised.
There you go. All right. Whatchamacallit? Couple of interesting things here. We did them last year. It was actually a couple I was going to mention, and I went back and looked last year, and there were a few things that are on here. Like last year, I brought it up. Who holds the record for the most opening day starts?
Yeah,
we did it last year, but that's the only one I wanted to mention again. But
was that Roger Clemens?
It was not Roger Clemens. No, Pete.
Was it? It might have been.
Satchel Paige was not. No.
Nolan Ryan.
It's not Nolan Ryan. You're getting closer though.
Walter Johnson.
It was in the National League, wasn't it?
It was. Well,
Greg Maddux.
Technically, it was in both leagues.
Gaylord Perry. Greg Maddux.
Nope.
Who the fuck knows? I don't know. Who cares?
Pete, he was getting closer with Nolan Ryan. And there was a reason he was getting closer with Nolan Ryan.
So we're in that.
It was one of Nolan Ryan's teammates at one point.
Tom Seaver.
Tom Seaver, yes. Tom Terrific. He had 16 opening day starts. He had 11 opening day starts with the Mets, 3 with the Reds, and 2 with the White Sox. Hence both leagues.
Who's number 2 on that list? Is it somebody with like 8? Or is it somebody with like
I would guess Clayton Kershaw's got to be up there. Greg Maddux has to be up there. Clemens.
Yeah, I don't have that. You're pulling it up there. Who has the second most? Actually, I think is it Seaver? No, it's Seaver. Perry.
Gaylord Perry was not a number 1 from a lot of his career. That's the thing, I don't know.
You want the list?
Tim Wakefield.
Do the list. Yeah.
Number 2.
John Smoltz.
Give me the hint.
Philly.
Larry Carlton.
Steve Carlton.
There
you go.
Larry Carlton. He's a good guitar player.
He's a guitar player. Yeah.
That was 14. Tied for number 2, also with 14. Let's call him. Well, he's a former Yankee.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sparky Lyle.
Nope.
Whitey Ford.
No, not a classic Yankee though. Later in his career, Yankee.
Roger Clemens.
Nope. If he were playing today, John and I would like his team to win the World Series.
It's on the Mets now. Okay.
No, this year.
This year.
Oh.
Like his team to win the World Series this year.
So who did we pick to win the World Series this year?
There you go.
Oh,
We just picked the Mariners.
God, who's the classic Mariners starter?
He's big.
Yeah.
He has a unit too.
Randy Johnson.
There you go.
There you go. Randy Johnson with 14. Also in a tie for second place with 14, another Johnson.
Walter.
Walter
Johnson, yeah.
Walter.
Also tied for second. Oh, this is a good one. 14 for a team that I like to win the AL Central, the Detroit Tigers.
Huh.
Oh, Morris.
1980?
Jack Morris.
Blackjack Morris, that's
Jack
right.
Morris, yeah.
Let's see. All right. Tied for effectively third, or in this case, sixth. 13 starts. We've mentioned him. Boston, Yankees.
Clemens.
Yeah. Here's one none of us would have got. Opening day starter for the Phillies from 1950 to 1961. 13.
50, I don't know.
Let's see. I think there's an ESPN reporter. She shares her name with him, I think.
He shares his name with him?
Yes.
Dolores Burks? No.
Robin Roberts.
Robin Roberts. She's
Roberts.
on Good Day America or something like that, right?
Oh, okay, whatever. I thought she was on
I think
ESPN.
she was on ESPN for a while.
Let's see. Next up, 12 starts. Pitching this year. Multiple Cy Young Award winner. One of Harry's favorite guys. Old man, but he keeps going.
He's still pitching?
I think so. One more year.
Old man.
Started with the Tigers.
Oh,
Verlander.
Verlander, yeah.
Yeah, he's not that old. He's got.
He's 30. He's in his 30s. Old man.
Got the best wife in sports.
Yeah. That's what's keeping him young. All right. 12 starts. Next up, named after a former president who was named after a Midwestern city in Ohio.
Grover Cleveland.
Cleveland Alexander.
Nice.
with the Phillies.
I was going to say, I didn't know Grover Cleveland played ball. That's like,
yeah. One of the guys that I mentioned before that I was going to take along with Aaron Seeley, also tied with 12.
Who'd you say?
Still-
Blyleven. You said Blyleven.
Oh, Burt
Blyleven.
Blyleven.
Yeah, Burt Blyleven.
Love Burt Blyleven.
Next up,
Only guy on the Pirates I like better than Burt Blyleven was Kent Tekulve.
Kent Tekulve, yeah.
Mariner.
Take a T and put a K next to it, and you got Kent Tekulve.
Kent Tekulve.
All right. This guy's probably kind of overlooked. 11 starts in a row.
What team?
I think he pitched for Seattle.
Hernandez?
Yeah. King
Felix?
Felix.
King Felix. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, he was a great pitcher for a long time, and kind of much like who was the DH the Mariners had is also was great, and nobody ever knew who he
Martinez.
was. Yeah,
Edgar
Martinez. Yeah.
All right. Next up with 11 starts, Yankee, lefty, recently retired.
Sabathia.
Sabathia.
Yep. Oh boy. Next up, also with 11, leader of the Cubs with 7 opening day starts, one ahead of Carlos Zambrano. I don't know what sort of clues to give you. Shares the same first name as one of the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh, Ferguson Jenkins.
Ferguson Jenkins, very good. That was a good hint.
Nice.
El Presidente with 11. First major league.
Presidente, Dennis Martinez.
Dennis Martinez. Very
Who
good.
did he pitch for, the Orioles?
He pitched
Yes.
for the Orioles. Yeah.
And that's the end of the list.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of.
I guess it's Well, we had a lot of guys tied for second with 14, and 3 or 4 of those, and then 3 or 4 of those. So that's a pretty interesting list.
It is.
So Verlander's the only one active on that list, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's got what? Was it 11 or 12? You said.
A lot.
12.
So he needs another 4 opening day starts to tie Seaver, which won't happen.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Another
you never
2. Another. Well, he could grab Soul. Oh no, Robin Roberts has 13, and Clemens has 13. So he could one more, and he could join.
I wonder if Verlander's opening day. Well, I thought Verlander's hurt, isn't he right now?
He is hurt. He's not going to start.
Yeah, so he's not going to be the opening day.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I got a little off track there, but that was
all good. All right. So the list, a couple of interesting things on this year's list. I said the first day of the 1910 season. All right. William Howard Taft became the first president. No. I'm saying this for a reason. Became the first president to throw out a ceremonial first pitch.
He then went on to go 6 2/3 of 6-hit ball.
And he batted too, as a matter of fact. He had a dinger in the 6th inning.
He had a double, drove in a run, and stole third.
Almost hit for the cycle.
And when they took him out in the 7th inning, everybody started chanting "pussy."
Oh, that is an open. Hold on, I got to type the time here. Just put Taft. There we go. All right.
6 2/3. What are you, wig? Come on.
Yeah, get out of there. All right. All right. So he became the first president to throw out the ceremonial first pitch for opening day. Now, since then,
yes,
every president has thrown out at least one ceremonial first ball for either opening day, the All-Star game, or the World Series while in office, except for 2 presidents. Every president has, except for 2. Do you know which 2?
Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
Donald Trump's one of them. Joe Biden is not one.
Biden's thrown out a first pitch. Wow.
Apparently.
I don't know. Maybe
Who's the guy that died like a month in office?
Yeah.
No.
Harrison? Harding?
That was prior to Taft.
Okay. So after Taft.
Yeah.
Garfield?
No. Maybe
that's before Taft too. Garfield was in the 1800s.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking 1910 on. So.
Maybe Teddy Roosevelt didn't. Who was the guy who had polio?
That was FDR.
Roosevelt.
And Dave Scardino just says Roosevelt. No, it was not Roosevelt. Nope. Only it was Trump and one other.
It wasn't Warren G. Harding.
Nope.
I don't know. Give us a hint. Ballpark area.
In the last 50 years.
Oh, great. Okay.
No, president in the last 50 years. That's not hard.
I wonder if Kennedy.
There hasn't been that many presidents in the last 50 years.
Was Kennedy in the last 50 years? So
Kennedy was 60 years. Well, actually, 62 years ago.
Yeah. So 2024 minus 50 would be 1974.
Correct.
So Jimmy Carter.
That
was after that. Jimmy Carter. Okay.
Jimmy Carter. Yeah. Carter and Trump were the only 2 that didn't throw out a ceremonial.
Talk about a couple of wigs.
There you go.
Carter had a good curveball.
I see where you went there.
The double entendre there.
I see what you did. Yeah.
Well, Carter didn't have a wig on.
He might now.
No,
he's still alive, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. He's been in hospice for like 6 years.
He's building houses. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing I was going to say was Harry Truman. True story. Harry is the only president to ever throw out the first pitch on opening day. He threw out a left-handed and a right-handed first pitch on opening day.
You know what Harry Truman did not forecast? The rise of Japanese talent in the Major League Baseball.
Probably not. You would imagine.
Was that the same opening day?
Same opening day.
Wow.
Like he's the only president to throw out a left-handed and a right-handed first pitches on an opening day.
Do we have any? He
showcased his ambidextrous talents on April 18th, 1950.
I mean, until somebody shoots one out of their ass, I'm not going to be that impressed.
Not too impressed, yeah. So.
There's a couple guys who have actually done it from the mound.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. But if you know you're going to suck, just step in front of the mound and get it. Mm-hmm. Just reach the catcher.
And whatchamacallit? I think what's his name too?
I have no idea.
Kevin Kline, when he was playing.
Kevin Kline was.
When he was playing Bill Mitchell, President Bill Mitchell, threw a humdinger of a pitch on opening day.
Yeah,
only you would know Kevin Kline's presidential name.
Yeah, it was a movie, Dave.
Well, I know.
Yeah,
but nobody other than you remembers his name.
I've seen the movie.
The guy who wrote the movie doesn't remember his name.
Kevin Kline probably doesn't remember the name either.
Of course not.
Yeah. His wife might. Kevin Kline's wife might.
So the only person to throw out a pitch lefty and righty on the same opening day is Harry Truman.
Harry Truman, April 18th, 1950. And think about that. April 18th, 1950 was opening day. So it's just 21 days earlier this year.
Well, they don't have as much playoff games now. They had two teams that went to the World Series.
Right. They didn't have as many playoff games, and they only had a 154 game season too.
They didn't have any playoff games. They had the National League champ and the American League champ.
They went to the World Series. Yeah,
that was it. It's wonderful.
So you won the pennant and went to the series. That was
right.
Exactly. So, all right, cool. I got one MLB question of the week for you. Actually, this was this ticker should have been going up for our predictions.
Question of the week.
MLB question of the week. It's in two parts. I have one question in 27 parts. There you go.
Yes.
There we go. Now this is I want to know who's going to have the best record in the AL and the NL. So we'll do the AL first for the month of April.
Oh, for the month of April.
For the month of April. And best record in the AL. We'll do the AL first. Harry, you start. AL. Who's going to have the best record in the month of April?
Who's going to get off to a hot start in the AL? I think that the Twins are going to get off to a hot start.
That sounds interesting. All right. Pete?
Who's going to get off to the hot start in the AL?
Mm-hmm. Who's going to have the best record in the month of April in the AL?
Warren G. Harding.
Warren G. Harding.
I think it'll be
the Pirates.
The Cleveland Guardians.
The Guardians. There you go. And I am going to say, the Mariners. Mariners are actually going to get off to the hot start. All right, NL East or NL. NL.
Can we count games in March?
Well, by the end of the month of April, including the games in March.
Then it's going to be the Dodgers.
All right. So the Dodgers. All right. Pete.
I'm going to say I'll say the Dodgers. I'm going to just rip it out of the gate.
I'm actually going to say the Phillies. They're going to have the
notoriously slow starting Phillies.
Yeah, it's going to be flipped this year.
Nice.
So, there you go. All right. Cool. Well, there you go. That's MLB question of the week. We got to have sounders so we can have some music behind that.
MLB question of the week. It's not just one, it's two.
I think it's got to go up. Question of the
week.
Question of the week.
Well, technically, that would have been the question of the month, actually. But
question of the month.
Question that takes longer than we call it.
Question of the week. 6 parts.
Yeah. One question in 27 parts.
6 parts, 4 answers for each part.
You may use a protractor.
All right. Anyway, actually, I'm going to save that because that's going to be the intro. 100% the intro. All right. Anyway. Okay. Pete, you have anything on MLB?
No. Not really.
Right. Harry, anything?
No, I'm just can't wait for the see-through uniforms.
Yeah, you know what? We didn't talk about that. I don't want to, but we didn't talk about that. I think pardon my French. I think they're fucking disgusting.
Did George Costanza pick these? Are they cotton?
I think
Yeah,
he
the
did.
cotton,
The breathable cotton
uniforms.
Yeah, exactly. Unbelievable.
The baseball is, and it's not that they haven't been, because they have, but they are really, really getting good at just not being able to get out of their own way.
No, they're not.
I mean, everything they try is, by and large, a failure.
Yep.
With
Okay.
rare exception. Or at the very least, it's a tolerated mediocrity rather than something that, hey, what a great idea. And they ought to stop.
I mean, tolerated mediocrity is like, isn't that the new slogan for Congress? Tolerated mediocrity.
Tolerated mediocrity.
Yeah, I like just can we just have a couple of years at least where the game is kind of the same? And we don't have to be adding pitch clocks and base running. All right, let me just bring this up.
I heard there's now a football kickoff to start each game.
Let me ask you this. What is the worst?
And if they receive the ball, they get a touchback and they get a runner on first.
That's right.
What is the worst new rule that baseball has instituted over the past few years?
No, the
base is bigger.
Extra innings guy on second.
Ghost runner. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, let me add another one for your consideration.
All right.
I'm blanking on the word.
I'm all right with the pitch clock, by the way. I'm all right with the pitch clock.
Yeah, pitch clock seems fine. That's tolerable. No, the one I'm talking about is the discontinuation of the pitching movement rule, otherwise known as the pickoff rule.
Yeah, can we just go back to when we knew what a balk was and what a pickoff was?
Well, here's the thing.
Now no one knows, even the umpires.
Right. Well, you've made it more subjective for the umpires. But here's the thing. They wanted to do this, right? You can only throw over 3 times, right? Because they want to stop the endless throwing over to first base.
I don't like that.
To try and keep the runner.
Right.
But it's worse. It's even worse than that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they made the bases closer, right?
Well, they made the bases bigger, so yes.
Well, made the bases bigger.
Incidentally, they're closer, yes.
And now you can only... No, but here's the thing. I don't know if you realize this. I did not realize this till the other day when it happened to come up. If the pitcher... And it doesn't have to be a throw. The pitcher steps off and looks over, anything. That
counts as one.
Right, that counts as one. If the pitcher does that twice and then makes a throw to the base,
that's it.
If they do not get the runner out on the pickoff,
he gets second base.
Everyone on the bases
moves up.
Base.
So if the bases are loaded, it's a run.
They don't have to be loaded.
It's almost as
they don't have to be loaded.
No, it's true. So if there's a runner on first and third, it's a run.
It's almost as if they want to drive up scoring.
Yeah, because that's what makes everything better, as we've seen with the NFL.
I'm telling you right now, and this is my take on it, and I obviously am just guessing at this, but it sounds to me like this is either he hired a bunch of Gen Xers or young millennials in the office, and he asks them frequently, what else do you think we should do that would make it more interesting?
We're Gen X. Gen X.
Gen Xers. Gen Z. I meant Gen Z. Gen Z. No. Yeah, no. I'm not saying that. I meant Gen Z. Gen Zers or young millennials. And he asks them all the time. Or maybe he just goes home and maybe his kids are Gen Z or young millennials or whatever.
He didn't ask anything.
Whatever. But I'm just saying, he's got him in the office and it's like every year, they have a meeting. Okay, what should we do this year to spark it up? All he is interested in is getting younger people, younger viewership to the games. And anybody that's younger, and I've said this for years now on the show, and I've said it before this, anybody that's younger, that's not watching baseball, that's not interested in baseball, I don't give a fuck what you change for the rules. They're not going to start watching baseball. They either like it or they don't. Whatever you're doing is not whatever.
Here's the one thing that's made people watch all sports. It's the betting and the props. I was actually out the other night having a drink, and there was a group of people at a table having a baseball draft, fantasy draft. I've never been in a baseball fantasy draft. I mean, so it's less about the teams and more about the individual players. And like, hey, look, I got 800-1 odds. The Yankees are down by 6 in the top of the ninth. I'm going to bet $5 on it in case they come back.
But that's been true for years.
But they're not watching the game. They're watching their phone.
No, yeah, fantasy has taken casual viewers and made them, and taken long-time viewers and made them fans of players and what it means to their stat line.
Right.
But if you're attracting younger people, how can it not be a turnoff? I mean, just think about a playoff game. Just think about a game 7 that gets decided in the bottom of the ninth because of a pickoff rule, and a guy from third walks home. I mean, that's you go, oh, that could never happen. But I mean, it's just, it's just devaluing everything about the game.
It is.
You're devaluing the run. You're at the same time that you're trying to increase steals, increase scoring, bring back the hit and run, right? Hitting to different fields. You're getting rid of the shift and all that. And then you're going, yeah, but if the pitcher makes 3 moves and doesn't get a guy out, the guy from third scores. That's ridiculous. I mean, it's just, how is it not going to turn people off? It's turning me off.
Well, here's a little proof to my point about the betting is the interpreter for the Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani, was fired Wednesday after questions surrounding at least $4.5 million in wire transfers sent from Ohtani's bank account to a bookmaking operation. There you go.
There you have
it. You embraced it. Now you have to police it.
Yeah. There you go.
And this is going to be probably the next steroids.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to be doing it, or maybe not everybody, but a lot of people are going to be doing it, and they already are, I'm sure. And nobody's going to want to talk about it, but it's just going to hurt the game.
All right.
Well,
but enough beating the shit out of baseball.
Enough beating the shit out of baseball.
You know what I would really like? I'd like to see like 1 or 2 starters go past the 4th inning this year. That's about it. That's all.
That would be nice. That would be nice. All right. Let's move on to a brief football discussion. Which we call just a couple of things. We didn't have a show last week, so obviously there was free agency, as they say. I was going to go out. I was going to bitch last week. I almost did a reel, as I was advised by both Pete and Harry to do. But Saquon Barkley obviously leaving the Giants. I'll be a homer for a second. It hurt, but it was the right thing to do. You know what? He was important to the team, but not as important as other pieces. You know, and we've habitually talked about the fact that in any team, you know, the running back obviously has been devalued, and it's for a reason, right? It's not just because they're not good. Obviously, they're great.
Now,
it's a luxury. It's a luxury.
Offensive line, mediocre offensive linemen are making the same amount as Derrick Henry.
Right.
Explain that to me.
You can have if you have like we said it before, a solid brick wall of an offensive line and an average to decent running back, you're going to do better than a shit offensive line and an amazing running back. It's just facts. It's just facts. You know, it is what it is. So just a couple of notes.
Now, also, given the climate, you're not going to have a running back who's on your team for 6, 7, 8, 9 years. No, nobody hangs around that long.
You're not going to have anybody on your team that long anymore because everybody's trying to milk
the
rookie contracts.
Right.
So a 4th and 5th round draft price is worth more than a star.
Right. Like you can't have that sort of that Broncos methodology, you know, where we have good quality running backs and they're not spectacular, but they get us the yards because we have a good line.
Right.
Because we're
going back to Terrell Davis days now.
Exactly. And he was probably the best. He was the best.
That's almost 30 years ago. It's 26, 27 years ago.
You could build up stats with a team because you were there for a while, but nobody's around for that long anymore.
No. Well, I mean, Derrick Henry had a pretty long run with Tennessee. I'm surprised. You know, I wasn't surprised that he left. I was surprised he didn't leave sooner. You know,
you're surprised he went to Baltimore though?
No, I'm not.
No.
I mean, the only place I think that would number one. Here's why I think it's brilliant. Derrick Henry might just save Lamar Jackson's career, and there's no excuse now for the run first Ravens to not continue to be the run first Ravens when it comes to the playoffs.
Mhm.
They can't win making Lamar Jackson be a drop back passer. And they probably would have beaten the Chiefs if they just came out and had a balanced attack, but they didn't run at all. It was mind boggling.
It was.
Look, I think Lamar Jackson's a great talent. I think he's proven to be a regular season phenom and not a great playoff quarterback. I don't think I'm saying anything out of line there. I'm not saying anything negative about him.
Mhm.
I think he folds a little bit under pressure. Having said that, he's still a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
Mhm.
Having Derrick Henry certainly makes him a lot better.
Sure.
And more importantly, it puts the Ravens in a position where they're going to be better. They've lost some people on the defensive side. We all know that like Pete said, it's a rotating cast. You can't keep up from year to year, but this certainly makes them better on the offensive end of the ball. And I think it puts them in a better position to maybe get a little bit closer to maybe challenging Kansas City in the AFC.
No, I mean, if somebody has to, right? Because they'll just get killed. They're the new Patriots. Let's face it, they are.
They are, and Bolt Harbaugh should have just. I mean, I did not understand. That was the one game that I just could not, for the life of me, understand what the hell that coaching staff was doing. I just could not, for the life of me.
Strange. Talking about, just back to the Giants for a second. Devin Singletary, the Giants obviously signed to replace Saquon.
Good pickup.
Great pickup.
And maybe a more versatile back, a little bit more pass happy than Barkley. Not as much of a power runner, but.
And I will tell you this: Devin Singletary, they're giving him the number that he's worn his entire career, and that's 26, right? Which I don't know if is that a dig, because 26 was worn by a pretty good running back for the Giants, Orleans Darkwa.
Who?
Never mind. Saquon had 26.
Who cares?
So I was making a joke.
The Giants aren't.
You knew what I meant.
The Giants aren't going to retire Saquon Barkley's number.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Saquon Barkley's going to go down as a.
I don't give a shit. All right, he's not getting his number retired, so it's a number. Who cares? He gets it, and it's not as if they did it to stick it to Saquon Barkley. Like Devin Singletary was wearing 28, and they said, you know what? Screw it. We have 28 available. We're going to give you 26. No, he's been wearing 26 his entire career, so is what it is. I was making a joke. That's all it was.
Yeah. Well, here's the one thing that and I know it's just on paper.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Giants got a lot better at the offensive line. I mean,
if
a healthy Andrew Thomas, the potential of maybe moving Evan Neal either off of right tackle or maybe even to guard or maybe even as a backup.
Maybe even off the field.
Right. You got an aging John Runyon probably starting at left guard. I think John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt was maybe the best draft pick the Giants have had since Odell Beckham.
Mm-hmm.
And
they just picked up Austin Schlottman too. So he'll be a backup catcher.
He'll be a backup catcher.
He'll be a backup catcher for the Mets.
For the backup center. He'll be a backup catcher.
With John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt there.
Jermaine Lamar.
But look, hey, John Runyon was a good pickup. I would have taken his father at this point, to be quite honest with you.
Right.
And Aaron Stinney and Illuminor.
Illuminor, that's how you say it.
Yeah. Jermaine Illuminor. But in any event, they did get better at the offensive line, knock on wood. And they picked up a great edge rusher in that trade.
They got better on the defensive line.
But Brian Burns, absolutely. So
I mean, they lost their best defensive back. But
Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do?
Look, the Giants come down to one thing. Do they have their head up their ass, or are they going to do the right thing and draft a quarterback?
They're going to draft a quarterback. I really think they're. Everybody keeps saying JJ McCarthy. I actually think they're going to wind up with Jaden Daniels.
Oh, if he slides down that far,
I think he will. I think unless somebody trades up, unless there's some mock draft reports have the Vikings trading up, or a couple of those trading up. So that being the case, if that happens, it's a different story. And we'll do a draft show. We're going to do a draft show right before the draft. So. But yeah, I think they wind up with Jaden Daniels. I do, but we'll see.
Sounds great.
Anyway, a couple of things I want to bring up really quick. What do you think of two things I get asked? One, just talk about for a minute, and the other one we'll talk about for a minute too, and then we'll move on. what you call Kirk Cousins to Atlanta. Thoughts? Don't all jump at the thoughts question really quick.
The most impressive person in all of sports is not Caitlin Clark. It's not, LeBron James passing Kareem's all-time scoring number. It is the fact of what Kirk Cousins' agent has been able to do for the career of the Lifetime Achievement Award goes to Kirk Cousins' agent. Let's hear it for Kirk Cousins' agent.
All right.
Yeah,
like I always said, Kirk Cousins is the best Kirk Cousins in the NFL.
He 100% is. There's no other Kirk Cousins like him. There's
plenty.
He's one of a Kirk.
There's
He's one of
20
a Kirk
Kirk Cousins just like
there's lots
him.
of guys just like him.
There's no other Kirk Cousins like him, though.
Yeah, well,
He's a guy that the book is both open and closed at the same time on.
that's right.
Right.
Like, we know what Kirk Cousins is, but we go, maybe this would be the year he breaks out. And good for Atlanta. They needed somebody besides Desmond
Well,
Ridder.
look, they improved regardless, right? They
Yeah.
improved. So there you go.
The
other thing I was going to
Mediocre quarterbacks getting paid, though. One good year, getting paid.
The other thing I was going to say was, speaking of quarterbacks, okay, what do you think of the complete shift in Pittsburgh? Signing Russell Wilson, then trading for Justin Fields, and that trade was amazing. I mean, why didn't any team? I mean, granted, I'm not saying Justin Fields is the best thing since sliced bread, but that trade, I take that in a minute. He's still on a rookie contract, and they gave up what? They gave up a fourth round for him. One fourth round pick.
Pittsburgh now has two Kirk Cousins for the price of a vending machine.
Right. And they get rid of Kenny Pickett. They sent Kenny Pickett packing.
Get rid of Kenny Pickett.
I'm not sure Pickett's done with, to be honest with you. I was not as down on Kenny Pickett.
I wasn't down on Kenny Pickett at all. I think he can be a decent quarterback. It just wasn't working that right way. But obviously right now he's backing up Jalen Hurts. He's not going to start in Philly by any means.
Let me tell you something. I don't know Justin Fields very well. I don't know any of these guys very well, but I know a lot more from decent journalism about Russell Wilson, and of course, you kind of hear a little bit more because it's in my backyard.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of hope the best for Justin Fields. I really do. This assumption, though, that Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback over Justin Fields, that to me might be a little demoralizing to Justin Fields, who 7 months ago, was the franchise quarterback for the Chicago Bears. You remember when the Bears wound up winning 3 games in a row and Justin Fields, this was all you heard about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think Pittsburgh is, I think that it could be a little bit of a mess there. I think it could turn into a little bit of a mess.
I think that, Tomlin already came out and said that Russell Wilson's a starting quarterback, and he had to do that, right?
Right.
So, but I think it's Wilson's job to lose at least this year, and they only have him for a year. They got Fields for 2 or 3 years. So
they may draft a quarterback. Look, if Michael
may.
Penix or Bo Nix is available in the second round, if some NFL team does not take one of those two, they're dumb.
Mm-hmm.
They're dumb.
Bo Nix is going to go in the first round. The only quarterback of the ones of record, right, that are going to might see the second round would be Michael Penix.
I don't know. Bo Nix, he is in many mock drafts. He is projected to go in the second round. We'll see.
We'll see.
All right. Look, here's the situation with these.
We'll talk about that in the draft show.
Here's the situation for the Eagles. They want someone they can plug in case Jalen Hurts misses a couple of games.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's no competition for him as a starter as far as Pickett goes, and they can dump him anytime, and it's no great loss.
Right.
That's all that's about.
As
far as this,
yeah. Can I just say one
thing?
thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Justin Fields would have been the perfect backup in Philly. Anyway.
Well, yeah, but
actually, 100%.
Jalen Hurts isn't going anywhere. No. The Steelers did exactly this. This Steelers move is about Justin Fields. Okay. They think he can be. I think they think he can be a great player, and I think they're right. I don't think he was well coached. I don't think he was surrounded with the right people.
Yeah,
in Chicago, Now it wasn't a complete disaster in Chicago, but it was pretty close, and he won despite a lot of that.
Right.
And Tomlin is amongst the coaches in the NFL, Tomlin has the cachet and the gravitas to say, no, Russell Wilson is the starter. And Russell Wilson wasn't terrible last year. And you're going to sit and you're going to learn from him, and then you're going to be our guy in the future, because we're not keeping Russ. He's not going to say this out loud, obviously, but they're not keeping Russell Wilson around for more than a year. And Tomlin has got the chutzpah to say, this is what's happening, and stick around, and you could be on the fucking Steelers, kid, and be starting a year from now if you're smart. That's what this is about.
Justin Fields, I got you. But for the Steelers and Tomlin, I mean, they only took Russell Wilson because they got him. Basically, the Broncos are paying.
Those two players cost him, I think, $4 million combined this year.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah. So great, add to the mix. Another good reason to do it. But I think they believe in Justin Fields, but they don't want to take him from the situation he's coming from and throw him right back
if you want to know just how good Justin Fields is, ask the Giants front office what their assessment of him is, and then take the opposite.
And then go the opposite way. Yeah.
Right. Because the Giants quarterback room is fucking utter dog shit right now.
You don't like Drew Lock?
We're paying money to Drew fucking Lock.
Well, that's the thing. They went out and signed Drew Lock, right? They gave him, it was a 2-year, I guess it's 2 years or whatever they got him for. But here's the thing. They could have had Justin Fields for less money, and it would have cost them a 4th-round draft pick. That's it. So,
yeah, but there's a safety in Drew Lock. He's not going to come in and
I don't think they were looking to get Drew Lock. Like, look, they're going to get rid of Daniel Jones. Obviously, he's gone after this season. They want somebody to sit with and back up. Somebody has a little experience.
Yeah, they don't want a controversy. They don't want a
controversy.
I understand that, but they
somebody can play a little this year if Daniel Jones gets hurt again, and it's not Tommy DeVito, and they got somebody in there, and he could also be a mentor to some extent for whoever they do draft. And then whoever they do draft sits a little this year, maybe plays a game or two towards the end of the season, depending on what's going on in the, with the record and all. And then he's the starter next year. And Drew Lock is his backup. That's what they got. That's what they're doing. So I understand that. With Justin Fields, you'd have a controversy because Fields would want to start.
So you don't have a controversy in Pittsburgh, but you'd have a controversy in New York.
No, you have a controversy, but it's only for a year. And it's Justin Fields' job next year because Russell Wilson's only there a year. He's gone after this year.
Right.
Yeah,
it's only 1 year. They gave him 1 year. He's gone after this year. So unless Russell Wilson turns into 2013 Russell Wilson, he's gone after this year.
Tomlin won't allow there to be a controversy.
Whatever.
Mike Tomlin won't allow there to be a controversy.
No,
that's the difference.
All right. That's
So let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Let me just say this. I should say, don't sleep on the Texans.
Well, they were close to getting to the AFC Championship game last year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they just added Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good.
Yeah. The Bengals have not had a good offseason.
They have not.
They're hemorrhaging talent.
Quick. We are going to do an over/under later, but quick football over/under. How many games does Mike Williams play for the Jets before he gets hurt?
3.
6.
3.
I'm gonna say
you can go 2 and go really,
No, I think it's gonna be 5. I think he'll play 5.
Right. I think it's 3 is maybe pushing it a little bit, but it's possible. But Harry's 6 is probably definitely over. So
all right.
5 is.
Let's move on. If we're gonna wrap up, let's move on.
There we go. Did anything else NFL? Pete?
How about a little Are They For Real?
Let's do an Are They For Real? Let's
it's
an NFL edition.
NFL edition. Are They For Real?
There we go. All right. And that's
Yeah,
what
is real? For Mike Williams.
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Pretty sure none of that's real.
You're not real.
For real, for real, for real. Yeah.
Are you for real? For real? For real? For real?
Are they for real?
What is real?
All right, Are They For Real NFL edition. As you know, being for real can mean a lot of things on this show. And we're going to pick...
and real isn't always one of them.
No, definitely not.
But it's always spectacular.
But it's always really
it's never spectacular.
I think we've had two really good Are They For
Pretty
Real?
good ones, yeah.
I don't remember what they are, but...
Well, I just mean the show in general. Are They For Real is the most spectacular part of the show.
All right, so in this case, Are They For Real means where are these players more likely to land, these NFL players?
Fair enough. All right.
So which is a more for real landing spot for one Odell Beckham? The Chargers, replace Mike Williams, or them Dallas Cowboys? Harry, you're up first.
I think the Chargers are a little bit more desperate, so...
I would like to say I would say the Chargers, but I don't know if Harbaugh is going to want to put up with them.
Oh, that's true. I forgot Harbaugh's there.
So that being the case, he'd fit perfect in Dallas.
Yeah, let's put him on Dallas. I love to hate in bunches.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as a Dallas Cowboy fan, love to see him there for what he could do on the field. But man, he'll give everybody even more reason to be hating on Dallas.
I don't know. He's I mean, compared to some of the newer assholes, he's just a veteran, jerk now. He's
veteran jerk.
Yeah. Let him get a little taste of playoff collapse in Dallas. So.
Yeah.
All right. What's a more real landing place for Mr. Ryan Tannehill?
God.
The Broncos, the Chicago Bears, or as a replacement for Mr. the one and only, talk about a guy who's not anybody, Blaine Gabbert of the Kansas City Chiefs. What's a more for real landing place for Tannehill? Broncos, Bears, or Chiefs?
You say that I could actually see him.
Could see him on any of those teams.
I could see him on any of those teams, but I could see him backing up Mahomes. Yeah, I could see him backing up Mahomes. Just it's a solid. So it is not going to shit the bed, so to speak, if Mahomes goes out for a couple games. Obviously not a complete replacement if Mahomes is out for, not God forbid, for like.
Well, he's no Blaine Gabbert.
No, who is? Really not.
Who is?
But I could see him on any of those teams, though.
I think he's.
I would say Kansas City.
I think he's going to want to start. I think he's going to pick an opportunity to play over backing up Patrick Mahomes. I don't see him as being a Sean Payton kind of guy, so I'm going to say he winds up on the Bears.
Yeah, I think my logic is more. I mean, it's tough.
The only thing, though, if he ends up on the Bears, that's a one-year deal because
that's fine.
Caleb Williams is starting at minimum next year, if not before.
Yeah, but you know what? He could end up being the backup / mentor. He's long enough in the tooth now, which is why I initially started leaning toward the Chiefs because
it's the same thing with the Broncos. I mean, the Broncos are going to draft a quarterback too. So
right. But if he goes to the Chiefs, he'll be a backup. Maybe he gets to play a few games or the end of a few games, but he could end up with a ring.
Right.
I think ultimately, I agree with Harry. I think the Bears is where he's going to want to go and start.
It's
only for a year.
His capabilities fit perfectly with the Bears.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, last up, we were talking about Baltimore, and they're losing a few defensive players. And one they have not lost yet, but possibly is Mr. Big Hit himself, Jadeveon Clowney.
Mm-hmm.
So where is a more real landing spot for Mr. Clowney? The Miami Dolphins, the Baltimore Ravens, that would be staying with the Ravens, or heading to a little place we call the New York Jets?
I was going to say the Jets.
Dolphins, Jets, or staying with Baltimore?
Yeah, I think the Dolphins stay away from him. I think it's possible he stays in Baltimore, but I for some reason, once I heard the talk of chatter about that, I actually think you see him in a Jets uniform next year.
I'm going to pick none of the above. I think because of a recent retirement, I think he's going to go to the Rams.
You think? Yeah, but I don't think Clowney's replacing Donald.
I'm not saying he's going to replace him, but they're hurting.
Right.
And the
He did have 9.5 sacks last year.
The Rams are known to overpay for older players.
Yeah.
And he's not that old.
No.
He's not that young either.
I think. I'm going to be a homer here. I think I'm going to pick the Jets.
There you go.
I hope he goes to the Jets.
I agree with you.
I like to see him on the Jets.
He's kind of an asshole, but yeah.
Yeah. So what?
Yeah, I mean the Jets.
So's the guy under center.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe Davian Clowney could be Secretary of State.
Clowney's a fucking saint.
He's not going to the Jets. Robert Kennedy Jr. is going to pick him as his running mate.
All right, so that's it. That's it for Are They For Real?
There you go. All right, cool. All right, and just time to fade this out. Cool. All right. All righty. Where are we? Okay.
Now that we've wasted time on baseball and pro football, what is the biggest sports event of the week coming up?
Well, the biggest sports event of the month. I wouldn't even say the week.
Yeah, the month.
So yeah, it is time for some March Madness. Let's pick our bracket. I've already done mine.
All right. Who do you got in the Final Four, John?
All right. Well, we'll go one at a time. Let's start with because I got to type here. Boom. Harry, who are you getting first?
Am I picking all four?
No, you can start with. We'll start with East.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to pick against them, but I think UConn is going to win the East.
Yeah. Pete.
I agree.
All right, and as do I. There you go. All right, back to. I'll start with the West, and I'd like to pick against them too because there's a couple in there I wouldn't mind seeing. But North Carolina is gonna go to the Final Four from the West. Harry.
I'm torn between Baylor and Arizona, but I'm gonna go with Arizona.
Yeah, I was thinking Baylor, and
Arizona is notoriously just
well, watch out for Wagner to beat North Carolina tomorrow night.
Oh my God!
But that happens. It's Baylor, but no, I think North Carolina. I think they're getting to the Final Four.
I think Arizona's got a pretty decent, schedule. They might have to meet up with Baylor, but we'll see if Baylor gets through Clemson and New Mexico. Watch out for them. They're a spoiler in there. So I think New Mexico could beat Clemson in the first round.
Do you?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go with Arizona.
All right. Pete?
Arizona, come on. They're going to lose until they win. It won't be this year. I'm going with Baylor.
All right.
Baylor was my second choice.
Baylor was my second choice. So, which means it's probably Baylor. So, and I'm going to say North Carolina. All right. So let's do South. Harry, you started.
To me, this is Houston might have the easiest path to the Final Four. Other than Marquette, I don't see anybody really challenging them here. Even Kentucky, I'm not sold on Kentucky. I'm not sold on Duke. I think Houston's the team to beat, and there's a reason why they're number one. I think Houston goes to the Final Four.
All right. If you're playing along at home, I'm picking Marquette. I'm going Marquette. Pete?
Yeah, I really want to pick Marquette just because they're Marquette and they have a cool name. Houston, I agree with everything you just said, Harry. And you would think maybe somewhere along the way they get tripped up. I think that happened last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they did.
But I think they learned from that, and I think it's going to be Houston.
All right. So Pete is Houston as well. And I said Marquette. All right. And then Midwest. Pete, you start.
Grambling? I was thinking James Madison.
They got to win for scrambling.
They got to win first, right?
Yeah. Oh, man. It's hard to pick against Purdue. I really like Tennessee, but I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb here, and I'm going to take the Texas Longhorns.
Wow. Okay. Harry?
Purdue and Tennessee, the battle of the big weight stiffs. I like Oregon. That's a little bit of a spoiler in this area, but much like Arizona, Purdue's proven to be horrible in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think they're better this year. I'm going to go with Purdue.
All right. And Pete, you said Texas, right?
Texas.
All right. And
TCU, you mean? Or just Texas? I guess.
Texas, yeah.
The Longhorns.
The long,
not the horn frog.
the horns that are long. And I'm going with Creighton actually.
Nice.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Number three going all the way.
Yeah.
I like them too.
All right. So to recap, out of the East, we all three have UConn. Out of the West, Harry has Arizona. Pete has Baylor. I have North Carolina. Out of the South, Harry and Pete both have Houston. I have Marquette. And Midwest, Harry has Purdue. Pete has Texas. I have Creighton. There you go. Do we want to do the? Do we want to call a champion, or
Sure.
we want
Oh, we got to pick the final, and then
what's the
champion?
What's the final?
I got Houston versus UConn, and I'm gonna go with Houston with a slight upset over UConn.
All right. Pete?
I'll take UConn.
Okay, who's playing them? Who are they beating?
Houston.
Oh, so you're saying the same thing. So this
This has a different winner.
This
We both have Houston, UConn. Pete's got UConn. I've got Houston.
We both pick Houston in the Final Four, so.
Okay, so you're both.
So UConn has to beat Houston in my reality.
Okay, so yeah, so
that's it could be Houston or it could be Texas.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I was looking at the bracket the wrong way. Fuck. No, I think it's still going to be Houston.
All right, John.
All right, so you're doing the same thing. Houston versus UConn, and UConn winning. So you both have Houston and UConn in the championship, and both have UConn winning.
No, I have Houston. I have Houston.
No, Harry has Houston winning.
Houston winning. Okay, and Pete, you have UConn winning.
Yes,
I got UConn as the champion.
Okay.
So just to summarize again, we both.
I got confused there for a second.
All right.
All right.
Houston, UConn. We each have the different winner.
Pete's
got Connecticut.
Pete's got Houston and UConn in the championship game, and Arizona winning.
With Texas winning it all.
Texas winning it all.
Montana State, even after.
And I've got Drake in the plan.
Yeah, I've got Drake attending the final.
There you go. All right. I have Creighton, UConn, and UConn winning.
Creighton, UConn. Wow.
Creighton, UConn.
All right. Well, let's see what happens. It's probably going to be Purdue versus Grand Canyon.
It's going to be Wagner versus Grambling.
Bobby Wagner versus
Be Dayton and Oregon.
Could you imagine it was Wagner versus Grambling in the championship?
That'd be great. I bet that'd be one of the most watched ever.
Hell yeah.
Pick one sleeper out of the whole thing that you think is going to get further than people, one sleeper.
Does it have to be a bottom half seed?
No. I mean, is it
anybody,
a number 3 is probably not a sleeper, but you can pick them.
Is Gonzaga a sleeper? Not really.
Not really.
You know what? I'll take Michigan State.
All right.
Michigan State's your sleeper?
Michigan State's my sleeper.
Oregon's my sleeper.
That's my sleeper.
There you go.
There you
All
go.
right.
All right.
I think Oregon's going to I think Oregon's got a path to the Final Eight.
All right. We will see. We got a comment here from Dave Scardino. He says, "Let's go, San Diego State University Aztecs."
There you go. There you go.
Hey, Dave, is there a reason that you like that team? Please let us know.
It's the colors.
I'm gonna say let's go Wagner over North Carolina.
That's right.
Dave's son goes to SDSU.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
I just like to see something finally good happen to Staten Island.
I think this year we should for the first time we should have the women's champ play the men's champ.
That would be. You know what? Why the hell not? They did it in the they did it in the 3-point shot with
right.
In the WNBA and NBA. But,
who's going to have better ratings, the men's tournament or the women's tournament?
Women's.
I agree.
Women's,
Yeah,
100%.
Who do you got winning the women's?
I want to say Iowa, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I got South Carolina's going to win. And unless they beat themselves, they're the best team in the country. I think it's South Carolina.
And Dave just said indeed, and he said Clark is the best player in both tournaments. He said,
"We'll see." I mean, yeah, I agree.
So, I'll take LSU.
She's definitely the best Clark since Dwight.
There you go. And there you have it. Cool. All right. What else we got? We got your anything we want to
over under?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, we're coming up on playoff times. We don't have to talk that much. We really don't have to talk about NBA.
We can do over under another. It's not sports.
We can do an over under. We can do an over under. It's all we got. So we do the over under.
Do an over under.
Do an over under.
All right. Let's do an over under.
Let's do an over under.
So as you know, over under can mean many different things on this program.
just like Are They For Real could have nothing to do with Are They For Real. An over under could have nothing to do with over or under.
Nothing to do with it. All right. So yours truly was in the old hospital today for a good portion of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And they did some blood work, and I've got the results right here.
Oh, jeez. So
we're going to pick.
There's no HESA involved at all on the show.
No.
The over
We'll
under,
lay it all out there for you.
My fucking numbers, I can tell anybody I want.
The over under is Pete's platelet counts.
Now, what we're going to do, it is going to be a little different. Instead of picking an over and under, it's going to be a pass fail.
Okay.
Because each of these categories has a range that you're supposed to be within.
All right.
So either I will be in the range, that'll be a pass, or you think I'll be out of the range, and that'll be a fail.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And as a bonus, we can say over or under. So
fire away.
All right. So number one is INR. INR
mean?
is basically a measurement of how fast or slow your blood clots.
I think you probably passed that.
So let me give you the numbers. So the normal range is 0.085 to 1.18. That is the ratio. So pass or fail.
I'm going to go pass on that.
I'm going to go pass.
All right, that's a fail.
Okay.
1.30, so a little bit over.
Radio
that's
Pete,
a bit of a
not a quick clotter.
That's a bit of a trick question because I do take a blood thinner because of my.
I did not know that.
So I fooled that one a little.
Yeah, I totally.
What are you, O'Shawn? This is like trying to bet with Otandi's interpreter.
Exactly.
All right. Under the heading of general chemistry, sodium. The range is 135 to 145 mmol per liter. I don't know what that is. Millimeters of something per liter. So 135 to 145 is the normal range. Pass or fail?
Fail.
No, it's a pass. I'm at 140.
All right. Hey. I also forgot to tell you that I take a sodium blocker.
All right, now. Next up, we'll do potassium.
Okay.
Now, I do take a big freaking horse pill of potassium every day. Chloricon, it's called.
Well, this is a trick question. It's got to be.
The normal range is 3.5 to 5.3 mmol per liter.
Okay.
Pass or fail for potassium?
Well, I'm guessing if fail means you're under that range, not over that range, right?
Well, you'd be either way. Either outside that range would be a fail.
Too little
Either-
potassium or too much potassium.
Right,
You're outside that. I'm going to say you pass.
I'm going to say you're over, so I'm going to say you fail.
All right, John's right. It's 4.4.
All right, that's
I
on
do
the high
pass.
end.
So he's taking the potassium pill. He's obviously has low potassium, so it's
Right.
bringing it up and it's keeping it in the
But
middle.
I thought maybe he was like overdosing on the potassium pills. So.
No. It has to do with some other. It's actually for some other medicine that I
Too
take
many
to help
bananas, and that would have been.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Here we go. Further disclosure.
I haven't gotten one right yet.
As you probably know, I am a type 2 diabetic, which means that I do not take insulin. My body does produce insulin. It just doesn't process it very well.
Mhm.
All right.
So, glucose. Normal range is 70 to 99 milligrams per deciliter.
Mhm.
Pass or fail for type 2 diabetic Pete?
You take medication for this, right?
I do.
Yeah, I'm going to say pass.
I'm going to say fail.
Boy, Harry, you're bad at this.
Yeah.
130 is the number,
All right.
which is not terrible for type 2. It's not good. It's a little higher than it should be, but
All right.
not bad.
Mhm.
Thank God this is not on DraftKings because
Okay.
Well, you get those extra bets they give you every time you miss one.
That's right. Calcium, normal range, 8.5 to 10.1 milligrams per deciliter. Pass or fail?
Pass.
Pass.
Both correct. 8.7 on the
There
low
you
end
go.
of the scale, but I'm in the range.
I was not shut out.
There you go.
Let me see. Let me find a good one here. Oh, okay. This is a good one. Pro-brain natriuretic peptides.
Oh, without a doubt, you passed that.
Now, these are proteins in your brain
Oh.
that oh shit, I forget what they do. I looked it up too.
Oh, then you failed. You failed.
They do something.
Well.
All right. Yes. Normal range is 0 to 125 picograms per milliliter. I'm at 185, so a bit high. Yes, I have too many brain proteins.
Pete's a little high.
You're a little high. That's a big brain.
Yeah.
Apparently, it doesn't help.
That's it.
Let's do magnesium.
Oh,
Let's do magnesium.
The range
take
is
magnesium for 200.
1.6.
That's an audio clue.
This X-Men villain was named after this element.
A magnesium man.
The
Magneto.
normal range is 1.6 to 2.6 milligrams per deciliter. Pass or fail on the magnesium.
You passed the magnesium.
Pass.
Correct, 1.7 on the low end, but the Ziums, I'm good. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, I'm good with all those. All right, let me just give you a couple more here. There's something good here.
All right,
hemoglobin.
Oh,
Which is the stuff that binds oxygen to your cells, right?
Yeah.
Normal range, 13.0 to 7.0 grams per deciliter. Pass or fail?
Fail.
pass.
John's just going the opposite.
Yeah, because
He's taking his normal strategy. Harry, you got to stop answering first. I'm a pass, 14.1.
Yeah.
all right.
My hemoglobin is good.
It would have been. I was going to say pass on that one.
Ultra creeping hemoglobin.
All right. Along those lines,
One more, here we go.
Hematocrit.
Whatever that
Hematocrit.
is.
I don't know what that means.
Just the last one.
One more.
Nobody does. That's why they charge so much for it.
39.0 to 50.0%. It's a percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Pass or fail?
Fail.
John?
Fail.
Pass.
Harry, you're correct. 40.
All right, you got one. All right, there we go.
I got three.
Well, you got one without me.
Let me do one more.
Was it copying?
Let me do one more just because this one's fun. Red cell distribution width.
Wet cell distribution.
Red
cell distribution width.
With
big. He's got fat cells.
Normal range is 10.3 to 14.5%.
That's normal, huh? Gee, I'm not normal.
Pass or fail?
Pass. You passed that.
I think when it comes to thickness, I think you're going to pass.
I'm going to pass the fat cell. Well, you're both correct. 13. So there you have it.
And there you have it. All right.
I don't know what most of those numbers mean, but
it means you're still with us, and you made it back for the podcast today.
I made it back for the podcast.
Give RadioPete a round of applause.
There we go. And he's back for the podcast. Cool.
With normal hemoglobin.
Normal hemoglobin.
That's right.
All right. All right.
There
cool.
you go.
Well, there you go. There you have it. Anything else before we wrap up?
Well, let me just ask you guys this, if you knew this. This is just a yes or no. So, they had the overtime rules in hockey they instituted a few years ago, right? If you get a tie and you get a point for a tie or whatever it is, point for a tie or 2 points for a win. I don't even know what the rule is. Here's something I found out just yesterday or the day before.
Pulling the goal.
If you're in overtime and you pull your goalie and you get scored on,
you don't get the point.
You don't get the point. That doesn't seem right. Why would they do that?
Because they must have been hanging out with baseball for a few minutes.
Yeah.
That one I just don't.
Well, you guys are old enough. Remember when hockey was simple? You either won or you lost.
Or you didn't.
Yeah.
Or you didn't. Or there was a tie, but there wasn't a point for losing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So if you lose an overtime game, you still get a point. But if you pull your goalie and you lose the overtime game because of that, you don't get the point.
Look, we concentrate on baseball when we talk about stupid rules, and rightfully so. But football's coming up with it now, and we've talked about that. And obviously, it's nobody can leave well enough alone. They always got to try to fix things that aren't broken. Always got to do it.
The NBA too with the playoffs. There, everybody is searching for a way to make everything.
There can be
better.
far worse consequences in life for pulling the goalie.
Right.
So,
yeah, I guess so. But why would you get penalized for that?
Last time you pulled your goalie, did you get a point?
How much is that college tuition?
Exactly. All right.
Nice.
All right. On that note.
Yeah, that's it. I think we should go.
All right. Well, that is true, though. So I will digress into saying that we will wrap the show up for today on that note. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And of course, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well on the Log Room channel. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, and Twitch every other Wednesday evening around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Rephonic, pretty much anywhere you can find audio podcasts, you will find the Get On With It Sports Podcast. And if you missed any of those, they're all listed with links on our website. So, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Get going and watching all of the March Madness. That's already started with the playing games, but obviously kicks off tomorrow. And we will talk to you in a couple weeks, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Where do the Dodgers and the Padres sit in the bracket? I'm wondering.
The Padres.
Who has a better year, Tyrod Taylor or Mac and Cheese?
Tyrod Taylor or Mac and Cheese.
I think Tyrod Taylor's going to have better hemoglobin count, without a doubt.
He's maybe going to have more playing time.
Well, Tyrod Taylor's going to have more playing time. That's for
Where's
certain.
Tyrod Taylor playing now?
He's backing up Aaron Rodgers.
Oh
yeah. Mac and Cheese is in Jacksonville, so
Tyrod Taylor.
There you go. All right.
Thanks.
Take care, folks.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.